agreed with you that the Titans, I respected your ranking that the Titans could be the best team in the league, but now I understand it's just so that if your Pittsburgh Steelers beat them this week, next week you can put Pittsburgh number 1. Now I understand. I am sorry for agreeing with you. Aaron, let's go to you. Who is the number 1 team on your list?
I don't even need to say who my number 1 team is. You guys already know it. It's the Seattle freaking Seahawks, dude. Like, I mean, I know I'm biased, right? But I feel like I have the right to say that. Russell Wilson with 1,500 yards on the season. DK Metcalf with 496. And Bobby Wagner already has 52 tackles. Okay? It's a lot of tackles.
That's really impressive through 5 games. That is.
It is. Through 5 games, that's nutty. And Shaquille Griffin's got 2 picks already through 5 games. You know? It's good numbers. Those are very good numbers. And I just think we're unstoppable. And, like, in general, Russell averages 8.9 yards a throw. Chris Carson averaging 4.7 yards a rush, and hold on. You get. So basically, I'm with the Seattle Seahawks, just like I said before, after a little technical difficulty. But Chris Carson with 289 yards is pretty average, you know. But I mean, you give the ball to him 3 times, he averages 4.7 yards a rush, and you get a first down every single time, right? Those numbers speak for themselves. It's just consistent. And then don't even get me started on DK Metcalf, dude. 496 yards. Are you kidding me? He's got 220. He's got 22 receptions on these 39 targets, which is, you know, about 60, a little less than 60% completion rating, right? Which is good. And he's got 5 touchdowns already. He leads the Seahawks. He's doing better than Tyler Lockett. And Tyler Lockett's only got 342 yards right now. And plus, DK's averaging 22 yards of reception. That is a ridiculous average, dude. He'll go. You can toss the ball up to him, and the reason for that is because he's so big. He's got hops, and you can toss the ball up to him when he's covered by 2 dudes, and he'll reach up and fight for it midair, and he can just out jump the corners, right?
Him and Chase Claypool have the exact same build,
yeah,
same height too, roughly. It's just that big Megatron.
Exactly, it's Megatron-esque, dude. I mean, ever since Megatron back in his day, he was the only guy you saw like that, only big wide receiver in the league at the time. And I think because of him, there are starting to become more receivers like Metcalf and Claypool who can just dominate their divisions, and like they're the go-to targets for Russell Wilson and Ben Roethlisberger. And I just feel like the Seahawks have earned that number 1 spot based off how much they fight every game. They come back 2 or 3 of these games, and it's been I've had a couple heart attacks watching these guys play. It's like they're so close games, but they always manage to pull it off. I've said it before. I've been saying it since I started getting super invested in the Seahawks. The Seahawks have always been a fourth quarter team, right? Russell Wilson will cook it up in the fourth quarter no matter what happens, and it's just that's just why I have the Hawks up there at number. The defense obviously does not deserve to be number 1, and honestly, I think it's just the Seahawks offense, and that translates to the defense, and that just kind of boosts them being in the number 1 spot, which I know they did. They don't. The defense does not deserve it, but the offense does, and I feel like right now the offense is what are the essential the necessities, of the Seahawks, and that's why I have them at number 1.
They're definitely a top team, and it's kind of hard how we did this, our first power ranking, ironically the same week that they have a bye, and so we can't really grade them based on what they did because they haven't been made for a week. But it'll be a lot easier, I think, because they'll start to play some conference games here coming up. They got Arizona next week. I think that'll be a good game for them. It'll be one of their first real chances to show how their defense can improve. Because this is my argument with Tennessee. If they give up 112 yards to Minnesota's backup running back, how many yards are they going to give up to Derrick Henry, who's probably who's the best running back in football right now? I'll say that.
No, I totally see where you're coming from. I just think our offense has been doing so good, and I can't
argue that either. Yeah, we all know the let Russ cook season. I tweeted about was like
Chef Russell Wilson.
What did I say? It was like Russ cooks the food and DK brings it out. Like, he's just
exactly. Yeah, it's just Russell Wilson's the best quarterback in football right now, and that's just the reason they're up the number.
I think like I said, after next week and probably the week after that, we'll be able to get some better power rankings and really see how teams are being able to situate themselves.
Yeah. Hey, Squabble, what's your number 1?
I think you guys are going to learn a lot about me right here. I think this is something that, might surprise you guys, actually. My number 1 team, the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Seahawks aren't even in your top 7?
I will address that in just a moment. First, let me talk about the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're
Kansas City Chiefs,
joking.
and that's why this might shock you. And I'll get into that. Don't even worry about it, bro. It's
okay,
coming.
all right, okay.
All right.
We got 5 minutes. You better get going.
The Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in football right now, with Pat Mahomes leading the way. They had 200 yards on the ground in their last game, and they beat Buffalo in a slow ground and pound game before beating them finally in the fourth quarter by doing everything that you try and not allow, which is why Mike Vrabel in his last game against Houston intentionally put 12 people on the field in order to inflict a penalty, save 40 seconds, which led to them having just enough time to score with 5 seconds to send the game to overtime that they later won. They only had enough time to go down and score and tie the game before overtime because they took a penalty, which is something that the defense for Buffalo was unable to do. Kansas City ate up all the clock and scored a field goal to win the game. They did it when it mattered the most. This is obviously the Super Bowl champion with the highest paid quarterback in football over the next decade. So,
Probably longer than that too, for being honest.
Right. So just Kansas City, number one on my list. Now you guys are asking, Squabo, Noah, where are the Seahawks on your top 7? Well, allow me to explain. Aaron, Asher, last year, when my show first began on my old radio station, which is now on YouTube at DJ Squabo, go show it some love. We do it every Saturday. When we first began doing the power rankings, the first 2 weeks of last year, I didn't put Seattle on my list. Week 3, I put Seattle on my list. We played New Orleans and got humiliated. After that, I didn't put Seattle on my list until the week we played Baltimore. And we got humiliated. And because of that, ever since then, I've just kept Seattle off my list. How it works is like this. If Seattle is on my list, or Russell Wilson throws a pick. If Russell Wilson throws a pick or Seattle's on my list, the Seahawks are unsuccessful. I am a very superstitious individual, so I refuse to put Seattle on my list until we have won something. We have not won anything yet. Come playoff time, I jump on the bandwagon. I put them at number 1, and I embrace it because I go in fully believing and making myself vulnerable once again. Last Christmas, she broke my heart. This year, she can have it again. I don't care. Every single time for the Seahawks, come playoff time, I'm hopping on the bandwagon. But I am not going to be the reason that the Seattle Seahawks lose our first game of the year this week at the Arizona Cardinals. I am terrified about this game. Arizona looked great on Monday Night Football, and I am not going to be the reason that the Seattle Seahawks do not remain undefeated on the season off a bye. Great coaches off a bye. I'm not going to ruin it for Pete Carroll in Seattle. That's why Seattle's not on my top 7. Kansas City number 1.
I respect it. No, I respect.
Season is upon us.
It is indeed almost Halloween, real. And Noah, I'm also pretty superstitious, and I respect that. I understand completely. You keep doing what you need to do, because if you don't do it, that might screw it up. So, dude, it's all you. It is. My hat's off.
If we win the Super Bowl, you're welcome.
Right now, write that down. If we win the Super Bowl, it is because Squalo said it on his show that that he didn't put in his top 7 of this day, 10/20/20 at 6:59 p.m.
With that mindset, you should put him at 32nd in the league, just like their overall defense.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But on that note, we are going to have to put an end to this show. The internet tried to, but we did not let it. Now we are going to put an end to it. We're going out on our terms. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get to college or anything. We'll talk about that next week. Real quick, I want to give you guys an opportunity to shout out where people can find you. Asher, let's go to you first. You're a stud. Follow him on social media. Where can they find you?
Thanks, man. Like your comment too on my Instagram. Didn't respond, but that's cool. Anyway, Asherline on everything. I'm streaming Among Us tonight for the first time on Twitch. Go check me out. It's gonna be fun. gonna be sus.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be real sus.
Asher's the imposter, man. It's blue. It's blue. You're both blue. I don't trust either of you.
Sus.
Aaron, let's go to you. Where can people find you on social media? White Shaq himself.
At Aaron Monson on Instagram, at Aaron__Monson on Twitter. Shoot me a follow. I'm also at Aaron Monson on TikTok. I'll send you some funny ones. I even post once in a while. They're pretty cringy, but I think they're funny. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
And for myself, you can find me at DJ Squabo on Instagram, DJ SQUABO, or on YouTube. I'm right next to 400 subscribers. Literally need 2 more, so go show me some love. Help me get there for you guys. We're doing the show every week. The internet's only going to get better from here, so stick with us. As always, it has been my pleasure. This has been your home for Seahawks on Pac-12, NFL, NBA coverage, and a little tiny bit of MLB. World Series, we'll talk about it in October. Unorthodox Sports on KUGR.